We have a trade to announce. And for those of you in the building, you'll be particularly interested.
The Penguins have traded forward Daniel Sprong to the Ducks in exchange for defenseman Marcus Pettersson. Now, before we talk about what the Penguins are getting back, let's talk about what the Penguins are giving up. Now, what do I think about this trade? Well, I have two sides of it. There's a part that actually likes it, and there's a part that hates it. The liking part is because I actually like what we got back in this deal. I will get into that later on in this video, of course. But now I just want to talk about what I don't like about this trade, and that is how the Penguins gave up on Sprong after not really giving him much of a chance to succeed. It's no secret that Sullivan never liked Sprong, and this goes all the way back to when he first got hired. That year, Sprong made the team. He had a really good camp, got the 9-game trial, was really good there too, makes the team, but then Johnston gets fired. Sullivan takes over and sends Sprong down that same week, down to the queue, which wasn't the wrong choice at the time. 18-year-old. The mindset was let him go develop down there, come back next year as a 19-year-old with some NHL experience and make the team for sure. But then we go to the following year, 19-year-old Daniel Sprong. Everyone thinks he's going to make the team, but unfortunately he gets an injury, a shoulder injury. He's out half the year up until January, and then obviously he's not going to make the team from there. They've sent him back to the queue where he was amazing. In the final 30-something games, he was not only point per game, he was goal per game. So then that's again where fans thought, okay, next year at 20 years old, he's going to come and make the team. Comes at training camp, wasn't really anything crazy, whatever. He goes down to the AHL, has a great rookie season in the AHL, whatever, get him adjusted to the AHL. The next year at 21, he's going to make the NHL, and that's this year. Jim Rutherford guarantees the spot in the summertime. Now fans are even more excited. Comes into the camp, plays on the top line with Crosby and I believe Gensel, and he didn't really have much. He didn't really do anything. He was pretty much invisible. And then comes the season, which we are right now, and Mike Sullivan just never gave him the chance. The Penguins get 22-year-old Marcus Pettersson, left-handed shot defenseman, and was also drafted a year before Daniel Sprong in 2014 in the second round, 38 overall. From what I've read so far, it seems like Pettersson takes advantage of his size. He's a big guy, 6'4", has a long reach, takes advantage of that. Seems like he's really responsible in his own end, which is really needed right now on the Penguins. And it seems like he does have a little bit of offensive upside, which is also a bonus in that. Here's what Elite Prospect says about Pettersson. They say he's a smart defenseman who has a long reach and rarely allows opponents to get around him, gobbling them up as they try to pass. He uses his size effectively in orchestrating a very effective poke check. It seems like he knows where to position himself. He's not going to find himself just wandering around in the defensive zone. He's good on one-on-ones. You're not going to get around him, like I said. Good stick defensively too. And not only is he, good defensively, from what I've read, he has some offensive upside, like I said. Pettersson's first pass out of the zone is described as on the money. It seems like he knows how to break out the puck. And again, this is me just reading a bunch of articles about him. I haven't really watched anything of him. I haven't watched much Ducks games. I don't really watch much of the West unless the Penguins are playing against them. But yeah, so this is just me reading. So we're going to really get to know what he's all about when we get to watch him in a Penguins jersey. And if he's anything like from what I'm reading, I think this is a good trade, but, I'm not done here. Let's continue. After all, I'm not totally mad that they gave up on Sprong because if they waited any longer, it would have been like a Derek Pouliot and they would have gotten close to nothing back. So they did it now. He wasn't effective in the lineup because he wasn't playing, and they get back a defenseman who could be effective in the lineup right now and who's only 22 with top 4 potential. I think, like I said, he could be a two-way defenseman, a good number 4 guy, and like I said, he could be a good number 6, number 5 guy right now and be more effective right now than Daniel Sprong was. The one thing I want to mention is that Pettersson cracked the Ducks lineup. He's played 27 games, and the Ducks have a lot of good young defensemen. So the fact that he's cracked the lineup and played 27 games, I think that's really impressive. He's put up 6 points in 27 games, but the thing that impresses me is that he's put up 4 points in his last 6. So it looks like he's getting some kind of offensive confidence, and he's coming here with confidence, I think, right? He's been a plus player, 4 points in his last 6 games. I don't think he's coming here with no confidence at all. I think he's got some sort of confidence in his game right now. And we all know how good Gonchar and the Penguins are at developing struggling young defensemen into good defensemen. And the thing is, he's not struggling. So I would love to see what Gonchar does with a guy who I would think has a little bit of confidence right now. And maybe, put him into the lineup. I think he can definitely crack the Penguins' top 6 and maybe work himself to the top 4 by the end of this year. Because, first of all, the Penguins' defense is it the greatest? And it seems like he can fit in. So I told you guys to ask me some questions on Twitter about the trade, and I got some good ones. So you know what? Let's just get into some questions here pretty quick. Is Pettersson any good? Does he have potential to be a top 4? I definitely think Pettersson has the potential to be a future top 4 defenseman. Who do you think won this trade as of now? I don't think there's any winners in these type of trades. The way you find out the winner is in a few years as you see which player has the better career. But as of right now, if I had to give a winner, I would give it to the Ducks, because I still think Daniel Sprong has the really good potential. And if they play him in the right role, I still think he can be a 20, 30 goal scorer. But that's not saying the Penguins lost the trade. But if I had to pick a winner, it would be the Ducks right now. Every time the Pens make a trade with the Ducks, the Pens come out on top. Kunitz, Hagelin, Lovejoy. Do you think the same thing happens here? I honestly think it does, and he will fit in nicely here. I could definitely see Pettersson fitting in nicely here, but I could see also Sprong fitting in nicely with the Ducks. So I don't know if the Penguins end up on top of this trade, but I could definitely see both teams being winners in this trade. You know, Sprong scoring 20, 25, maybe 30, and Pettersson cracking the Penguins' top 4 and giving them what they need defensively. Was Sprong's career with the Pens wasted? I would say yes, his career with the Penguins was wasted. You know, they could have played him so many times in the NHL, but they chose not to. And when he did play in the NHL, he was on the 4th line. So I definitely think they wasted him, unfortunately. But, you know, he just didn't fit in with Mike Sullivan, his system, which is fine. As long as the Penguins got something back from him and didn't completely waste it like Derek Pouliot. Are you surprised by the fact that Sprong lost so much value over time? Surprised? No, not really. That's what happens when you don't play. You lose value, and every time the Penguins played him on the 4th line or healthy scratched him, he lost just a little bit of value each time, and that's what happens, right? He succeeded in the AHL, he succeeded in the QMJHL, but he's never done it in the NHL, and teams aren't going to give up a bunch just for that. You know, I think the Ducks got a good player, but I love that the Penguins did this now and didn't wait, because if you wait, it's going to turn into a Derek Pouliot, and you're going to get nothing back. At least they got something back, a guy who can be in the lineup right now and in the future too. And if you're interested about this and you want to hear more about me talk about it, we're actually going to be recording a new podcast tonight. It's going to be up tomorrow. You can find it on SoundCloud, Spotify, and iTunes at NHL Pens Podcast. I really want to see what you guys have to say about this, so definitely leave your thoughts in the comments. I'm very curious. Do you guys like the trade? Do you guys hate the trade? And hopefully you guys can check out the podcast tomorrow. We're going to be talking about this trade, what it means, if there's going to be anything else to come in the future, all that good stuff. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. And as always, thank you for watching.